Hello, I am Alexis Solorzano and I'm going to be your supervisor for today. How's your day been? Good, good, yeah. It is a pretty day today. Now, before we get into business, I would like to introduce myself. Is that okay for you? Okay. Well, I describe myself as a simple person who was born in Texas. I graduated with a major degree in business management at Texas A&M University. I have worked in this field for 5 years already since before I graduated from my university. Since to be a supervisor, you need a big degree. You just need a high school diploma. Before I accepted this job offer, I have just recently finished a job with all these concerning the change of products, locations, and the change of schedule. Now, let's jump into a business before we run out of time and get distracted. Okay, so the problem we're having in this establishment is that you as a manager, you don't have any formal idea how to communicate the new changes to the people. Let's start off with why communication is important, because since communication is a big part of everyday life, we have to know how to share our ideas and information to the people. First, this creates a positive workplace where the employees and staff are clear on what they expected from them, makes our, our employees feel and see our dreams and passions as a business. Communication is a big part of teams, which makes them more productive. Communication, communicating with others, you gain the trust of employees, and which makes the work environment more enjoyable. And lastly, this creates a relationship with the customers as we gain the trust and are able to share our benefits and talk positively of our business to them. So let's start off with who is our targeted audience and the type of communication that will be needed for each type of person. First off, let's start off with verbal communication. What may you ask? What is it you may ask, or how would it help? Well, verbal communication is any exchange of words, either written or spoken, used to transmit information. The nature of verbal communication to be effective depends on being clear, relevant, tactful, informing phrases, tone, and informative. Presentations of conversation in these factors included are usually very effective. Second, written communication is a involvement of any type of interaction that makes use of written words. The nature of written communication uses a conversational tone and never sounds formal or stuffy. It uses active verbs to help the communication feel lively for it to be more effective. By being able to make the conversation more lively or show like the words being more sentence structured and being lively, it creates like a little connection and doesn't make it very boring. We'll need to communicate with the customers, employees, and the general public. This causes us to choose who will learn of the situation first, which leads us to first informing the employees, as they're the ones who will be the most affected of this change. We will need to verbally communicate this to them prior time as a way of showing that we care for them as they need to adjust to our new schedule, which can be a con. But there is a problem which the employees will be paid for the new hours added, which balances out the pro and the con. We should have a meeting with all the workers together as a more effective way of communicating and take our time to answer questions and concerns, like sharing the schedule of when the new changes will be added to adjust. Okay, so if we're able to create a meeting, we don't waste time and it's more efficient since all the employees and staff members will be together in one place, which will be more like sharing ideas in between each other and show any concerns they have. Now, We need to inform our customers who will be gaining most of the pros from this change. We will need to use our verbal and written communication, as we need to share information to them as they enter, when they order, as they look around the restaurant establishment, as they ask certain questions, and as they exit. Some ways this will be verbally talking to them in any of these case scenarios, or have flyers as a written type of communication. We want these regular customers to get the best impression, as they are the pillars of our restaurant. We don't want them getting confused on opening hours and going to our competitors and getting breakfast at different places where we could have served it to them. Some of the other pros that the customer will be getting will be able to eat our restaurant food as breakfast and won't be able to miss our food until lunchtime. They'll be able to stop at any time of the day and won't have to worry about the previous opening hours, as previously mentioned. And not forgotten, we will also need to communicate this information to our general public that we can be possible customers to our establishment. We won't be able to verbally communicate to them as effectively as to the rest, but we will use appropriate channels to share our information. We could use different types of graphics like billboards and posters. We could also use television and different types of social media. By placing them in places where we're able to read on the way, like a billboard with the social media we use under it, or to the side on a side of a freeway for them, for when traffic is slow, they have time to write it down, and they have time to read it and be able to understand what is being added to our restaurant. A scenario we can make happen will be applying the change to be scheduled in 3 weeks, where we first inform the employees so they start making space in their schedule. During that time, we will update the social media, start creating posters, rent a billboard near a freeway. During these 3 weeks before the change, we promote it and protect it, so we can show our current customers and encourage them to share it to their friends and families. So what my point is that we will use verbal and written communication to effectively communicate the new information to our customers, employees, and general public as a way of targeting our audience and informing them. And by being able to do this, we'll be having an effective way of communicating this to the people. This may sound simple, but it's much more complex. But you have me here as your supervisor, and I'll do my best, and I hope we can do this again and work together. My name is Alexis Solorzano, and today I'm your supervisor.